it's not about tricking the system. You always, if you have a feeling, obviously there is a rush, you blush, your blood pressure increases. So this one, you cannot trick it, actually. You have to be very, very good at, lying. But it's not good anyway to lie. Even when you say a white lie,
Yeah,
it's a white lie.
and we're not lying about it, of course. Hello, I'm Isabelita Castillo, an executive career transition advisor. Welcome to the 10th and last episode of Coffee with Top Elite Executives, Season 1. I have been speaking to the creme de la creme senior leaders and managers who have crossed my path along my career journey and truly impressed me based on their exceptional leadership skills and charisma. My goal and mission is to share with my audience insights and expertise that can be followed as a success formula. Today's guest is a banking executive and fintech expert, enthusiastic about digital transformation, products, user experience, and artificial intelligence. He's passionate about creating new concepts and transforming innovative ideas into plans and walking the talk. Valentin is originally from Romania and also lived in Austria. He's currently living in the Middle East in Qatar. Now I invite you to join me in welcoming Valentin Galatanu. Valentin, thank you very much for joining me today and for wanting to share your advice and expertise with my audience. To have this cup of coffee with me. Now, Valentin, I hope I have pronounced your name correctly. And as a start, intriguing conversations. What brings you today, Valentin?
Well, first of all, thank you, Isabelita, having a cup of coffee with you, which I definitely enjoyed.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
I hope that the guys that will watch our discussion will find it as interesting as for us as well we are having here. In terms of the intriguing discussions, I believe that we can see that all our life is intriguing. So, you think that you start in one place and you'll go on that path, but somehow in life things are detouring you. Just to give an example, to talk a little bit about me, I thought that I'm going to be an electronics engineer. Life was proved wrong because I shifted and I moved into banking. And after graduation, I was working on in banking. So that would be the first intriguing thing, because if you ask me when I was graduating, will you ever work in a bank? I couldn't say that was my dream job.
Very interesting what you're saying, because it's indeed intriguing. When I was a child, from 6 years old until all the way until I basically was already reaching the stage of choosing university, I wanted to be an actress, and then basically I would insist to my parents. They were like, Isabelita, not in Brazil. I'm sorry, dear. We're not going to support you. So I ended up in going to business administration. And I said, oh gosh, I wish I had done acting. But when I realized that life is about acting anyway, we all play roles in different kind of scenarios. So guess what? We are all actors and actresses. Now, for curiosity, Valentin, when you say you had this ambition to, initially to be an electrical engineer and then you end up in banking. Now, looking in hindsight and looking now, what do you believe was the aspiration that initially you had as a child or as a young teenager to become an electrical engineer that ends up in taking you to being in the banking sectors those days?
Well, if we're talking about the dreams of being a guy and being, at that moment, on the cinemas, a very popular movie, which is now on the cinemas, which is Top Gun. Like every young boy, I wanted to be a firefighter pilot.
Wow.
Obviously, it was not the case. So the next thing is that because I was watching movies, I don't know if you recall one movie, it's called True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's doing, that voice and all that stuff. And I was really hooked up into this technology, and actually that's my specialty in, voice transmission. This one is very much connected to the network IT, which was the link to move into banking, and after that, being in IT and working on New Year's Eve and working on the 1st of January, it was something that I didn't enjoy it very much. And I was looking in the bank, who is not working on the 31st of December and 1st of, January. And there were people in, front office, in, having the sales roles. And that was the click, and I was saying, okay, let's go for it. And I moved into an MBA, which I finished. And then again, I move up the ladder.
Very, very, very nice. I do like the connection and how you joined the dots. So you see, one thing I realize in life, we all have the ideal of something where we want to reach. We have this goal. So for instance, as a child, I wanted to be an actress. And then when I look nowadays that I'm a career transition advisor and I love doing public speaking, I said, hey, I think I understand why as a child, I wanted to be an actress, because bottom line, I like talking, period, right? You talk all the time.
You're not far away from being an actress, actually.
Exactly. And the basically say, you know what? I'm still going to make a movie, talking about helping people understand how you get a job or whatever you need to give a message. But then I look at you, and then I remember we were talking about how much you are enthusiastic about, innovation, and you so creative thinking, and all the big projects you have in mind in terms of bringing something new. I really think you could be the next Elon Musk, to be honest, Valentin. I know I'm being a little bit conservative here, but with your ideas.
Okay.
So
you made me laugh.
Why don't you share a little bit about this creative mind that you have and all those innovative ideas that you have, that tell me a bit more. How does that relate to to the future or to the banking sector? Where would you like to take that?
Well, the idea is that whenever in life, I can tell you that what really defines me is that I don't enjoy the boring jobs. So if you ask me to do the same thing on a daily basis, that's definitely not for me. If you want to kill me softly, with this one you can do it. So that's why, luckily, or I don't by choice or by I was placed here in the line of the business where I am. It's going through transformations for the past 20 years, and for the next 100 years are going to be transformations. So in all those places where I worked, in different banks, in different positions, I try to as you have said, connecting the dots, and I was stashing up information which I carried on with me. And I can tell you now that besides what I'm doing, I have a small head of an entrepreneur, and we are trying to build something together, a marketplace for the supply chain finance invoices. And we gather a team of 6 people, which I met along these many years, past 20 years. And this is where we are going and moving forward, using the new technology, the blockchain technology. And we are trying to, bring things and to make things better for everybody. So it's not like, okay, at a certain moment in time, it looks like, oh, why am I doing this? Or why is that? Or what is the point? Nevertheless, it's like in solving any problems in mathematics. You have some data, which at a later stage you can use it. And I believe this is the moment where we can use it and we can move it forward thinking.
Wow. When you tell me supply chain invoice, I'm like, gosh, should I quickly Google why he's talking? But you know what? No time to Google. So can you tell a little bit more about what is supply chain invoice? I'm very curious about it. I'm sure the audience is as well.
Yeah, well, in principle, what is happening, you have 3 things. You have the movement of the goods, you have finance paying of the goods, and you have the information. And all these 3 are lined up. What is happening? You want to receive your Louis Vuitton purse, yeah? But for that one, somebody has to manufacture it, somebody has to put it into a shop, and you have to be there. The process between the manufacturer and being put into the shop, it takes a while and it takes some time to be there. So this one requires capital and so on. The idea is that based on the invoice, for the goods that were manufactured, you can receive finance after you deliver. You as a supplier, after you deliver the goods, you receive the money, and then you can start all over again. The idea is that you are paid 90, 120 days after you deliver your goods to the buyer. With supply chain finance, you can make it earlier, so you can have, with a discount, receive, let's say, the amounts quicker, and then you can, again, as I have said, move forward. That's the supply chain finance, 101.
Wow, that's literally. Is it something new, Valentin, or it's something that it's the idea that you have at the moment, or it already exists?
This one in different shapes and forms exists since early 2000, but this is what it was attributed and it was coined. In between there were different solutions, different names, but in principle it's after 2002, and lately it picks up more and more because of the technology, because of look at the supply chains. Now we hear that the ships are stuck somewhere in I don't know what harbors. There is no whatever problem with the energy, with the oil, and so on and so on. So lately, in order to be more efficient and to be sure that you have always goods on your shelf, supply chain management, supply chain finance, it's very important. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, now this brings me to a very big topic that, when we were talking another day about artificial intelligence and how is that going to make a big impact in the business those days, especially in the banking, the traditional banking system still, and what's the threat behind it? Because we know every time we hear more and more about Bitcoin technology and all the other cryptos, but apparently there's so much risk, so much ups and downs that still the traditional banking system is going to stay still. But where do you see innovation coming into place and with artificial intelligence as per se?
Yeah, well, the artificial intelligence as it is, at the current stage, I don't want to say this is the end game with the artificial intelligence. It's something that is going to be developed in the future. However, the artificial intelligence, it helps you to build patterns and to see, this company is going to pay me in time, or this company is going to delay, based on different behaviors and based on the plethora of data that exists out there. And the artificial intelligence, with a big power of processing, can do these things much more quicker than we do and have access instantly to, Dr. Google. So the artificial intelligence will help you to take better decisions, will help you to mitigate risks, and at the end of the day, to have a healthy financial system. It's not a threat. It's something that comes on top of everything. So it helps you to build models. It helps you to be proactive. And sometimes, to be ahead of, it's like in a chase game, to be 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of what's happening now at this moment.
Okay. Now, when we talk about artificial intelligence as technology incorporated into systems, it does definitely give me a very good idea in terms of business perspectives, analytics, trends, and then, as you said, mitigating lots of risks. How about when it comes that we're going to have humanoids around us, right? We're going to have the looking like humanoids, and they will start doing that job. So what changes, Valentin? What's going to happen to the people? I mean, how can we even stay private? What do you think about it?
Privacy, it is, and it will be always a matter of ourselves, how much you want to disclose, so it's not necessary if somebody observes you, what you are doing or what you are, okay, if they will see me that I pay with my card for a pizza, yeah, can be the pattern from here. But in terms of being yourself or keeping things for yourself, I don't believe that artificial intelligence it's a threat from this perspective. Talking about the artificial intelligence, I don't think it's a competition between us and the artificial intelligence. At this moment, we cannot talk about sentient. Yeah, we can talk about algorithms that take action, or self. They can make them perfect by each evolution. But we cannot say that they have a soul, at least at this moment. In the future, who knows? So from this perspective, definitely it's not a threat for us. And I see it as how can I say? It's like when you have a nade or like a eye on the back of your skull, so can give you a 360 view. This is how I prefer to see it, not as a threat.
What comes to me with artificial intelligence and humanoids. So imagine you are in a job interview, right? Because I have to help my clients prepare for job interviews. So I tell them all about the body language, expression, tone of voice, pay attention to the questions so you can give the right answers. And then the artificial intelligence humanoid is going to say, I saw you frowning. I saw that line here. You're looking up to the right, you are lying. So how is that going to be, Valentin? How can we, bend this matrix with those humanoids around us?
Well, talking about, you're talking about the movies. I can tell you two things. I was really impressed about one movie, Ad Astra. I don't know if you have seen it. With yeah, it's it's a fantastic movie about a cosmonaut, and he keeps cool no matter what. Obviously, this is through training and through a lot of expertise. But there is another series which was stopped, and it was called Lie to Me. And actually, it's about a psychologist, a profiler, who looks at the micro actions on your face. So that one is happening even now, even if you don't know it, and as far as I know, in some banks, there are people inside the organization who actually monitor the behavior and the posture and so on of the employees. I don't want to give names, but I know those things exist in different organizations. Yeah. So it's not about tricking the system. You always, if you have a feeling, obviously there is a rush, you blush, your blood pressure increases. So this one, you cannot trick it, actually. You have to be very, very good at, lying. But it's not good anyway to lie. Even when you say a white lie,
yeah,
it's a white lie.
And we're not lying about it, of course. Look, yeah. But I did once learn about, not that I, thanks God, never had to go through a lie detector, but I did actually get to know through documentaries that the people can actually trick and pass lie detectors. And do you know how this is done? Do you know how they can do that? I hope I'm not teaching people how to do that. Please, bandit is not for you. Marginals, get out of my way. This is not for you. So basically, you just need to believe in what you're telling, but you really need to be so strong in playing with your mind, almost like psychopaths, So you have to be so strong in playing with your mind that you believe so much in your lie that the lie detector will say he's not tense, he's not frowning, so he believes in that. That's true, right? So this is what I heard about lie detectors. So maybe, I hope this is not going to be the way that my clients will have to present themselves during job interviews, because I want them to only tell the truth anyway, right?
No, but the things are moving forward because we have feelings and because we are human beings. And at the end of the day, I believe we are good people. We have, how can I say, we are not, okay, you have psychopaths, as you might say, but this is not the norm. These are the total extremes. We as human beings, we tend to be social. We tend to act like being in a hive to support each other. This is something that brings us, as humans versus the other animals on the planet. So, I prefer to think that psychopaths, it's something, after the comma, it's a rounding number.
See, now, frankly speaking, I believe that, I don't know if you ever read the book called The Wisdom of Psychopaths, and it's in a way scary but intriguing as well. It teaches about ourselves. I think, if we were ever to find something that you can learn from it in a technical way, not to be like that, would be that they have a capacity not to feel involved with the drama or with feelings, emotions, that this is basically what makes them be so relaxed in any circumstance. And basically, they can manipulate people, right? Because they basically know that we are all into emotions as normal people. We buy into being appraised. We buy into help warming feelings from other people toward. So they can manipulate all of that, but they don't actually feel that. And that's how they manage to get around with their terrible plans. And unfortunately, it's an illness that when detected, means they already done a lot of, unfortunately, things out there that are not good to even think about it, right? But I would say when it comes to artificial intelligence, I believe that it's going to help us learn much more about our own programs, because artificial intelligence is going to act on programs, period. Now, what will happen is that they say they will learn from us how to represent feelings and emotions so they can be more like humans. But my question is, to you who is so much into innovation and, so much into artificial intelligence and all of this, will they actually feel the feeling by any point of time, or they're going to learn how to represent the feeling and the emotion? That is my question for this intriguing conversation.
It's quite funny because now, you're asking this question because I'm just watching the Westworld. I don't know if it's a TV series, okay. And it's exactly about the human beings that replicate, actually are, they call them hosts, which replicate the human being feelings. Bottom line is that a feeling that it's written by a code. I'm going to push the boundary, and I will say at the beginning, yes, probably it will be a code because no, in this situation you have to smile, or in this situation you have to frown, or in this situation you have to cry. But in time, as they build, knowledge, I believe that somehow or somewhere they will become to have a conscious, and they will have to be, they will be sentient. I don't know if it's in our lifetime or it's somewhere, in the next 100 to 100 years, but this is what I believe is going to be, and it's going to happen. Not now. We are moving in that direction. This is what my 2 pence thought.
Okay, very interesting. That was actually something I was trying to process because, for me, I actually tried to hold on this conversation, but just a food for thought. I heard through some documentaries I was watching that, in fact, when they start having consciousness, it's not actually their consciousness. It's actually some consciousness from the universe, from other planets that will benefit from that technology to be able to be in the middle of us. Food for thought, for intriguing conversations. So, Valentin, what's your last word about it before we wrap up for today?
Well, if people want to contact me and discuss about intriguing things, or discuss about transformation, digital transformation, or about fintech, or about blockchain, or about, design thinking, or anything else in between, I'll be more than happy, to contact me or to reach out to me via my LinkedIn connection, which is here. The best is yet to come.
Awesome, fantastic. Valentin, it's been an absolutely pleasure having you here in the show. Thank you so much for your openness and, and wanting to share all this expertise with my audience. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Isabelita, for inviting me, and I hope that the people who will watch it will find it interesting too.
I'm certain. So everyone, thank you so much for watching and being part of this community. We hope you enjoyed and feel ready to revamp up your career with the insights shared by Valentin Galatanu. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel to get amazing insights from top elite executives across the world. Until next time, stay blessed.